Welcome to Business Book Daily. Today I'm breaking down a book about startups, company formation, and why a great idea still needs a real business foundation underneath it. I'll cover the big idea, the practical business lesson, and three sharp insights you can use right away. Let's get into it. But first, a word from our sponsor. Want to sell more without adding fixed payroll? A lot of smart operators hire commission-only reps, experienced sellers who get paid only when they produce results. If that sounds like a smarter way to scale, post your opportunity at commissiononly.com. Thousands of motivated reps are actively looking for performance-based roles right now. Commissiononly.com. Today's book is The Startup Checklist by David S. Rose. Rose is an entrepreneur, angel investor, author, and founder of Gust, who has helped launch, fund, and advise many early-stage companies. His core argument is simple. Building a startup isn't just about having a good idea. Founders also need the legal, financial, operational, strategic, and fundraising pieces that turn an idea into a real company. That's what makes this book useful. Many founders focus almost entirely on the product, the pitch, or the first customers. Those things matter, but they're not enough. A startup also needs clean ownership records, clear roles, strong accounting, useful metrics, smart hiring, and a funding plan. The book makes a clear point. Startups are risky enough without making avoidable mistakes. A founder who sets up the business correctly from the beginning has a better chance of attracting investors, hiring the right people, protecting ownership, and scaling without messy problems later. One of the strongest ideas in the book is to start with the right company structure. A startup needs to be set up in a way that supports growth, investment, hiring, and ownership. That includes choosing the right legal entity, creating clean founder agreements, assigning intellectual property to the company, and making sure ownership is properly documented. These steps may feel boring compared with building the product, but investors, employees, and partners need to know the company is real, clean, and ready to scale. On another key lesson is that equity has to be handled carefully. Founder equity, employee stock options, advisor shares, and investor ownership can all create problems if they're not planned well. Giving away too much too early can weaken the company. Keeping everything too tightly controlled can make it harder to attract talent or capital. Equity should be a tool for building the company, not a casual promise that creates confusion later. The book also makes the point that the team matters as much as the idea. Investors don't fund ideas alone. They fund people who can execute. A strong startup needs founders with clear roles, complementary skills, and the ability to recruit others. If the team is weak, misaligned, or unclear about responsibilities, even a promising idea can stall. There's also a useful lesson about fundraising. Raising money works better with preparation, not panic. Founders need their documents, story, numbers, and strategy in order before approaching investors. They need to know how much money they need, what milestones that money will help them reach, and what kind of investor is the right fit. Another important idea is that systems help startups scale. Startups need speed, but speed without structure creates mess. Basic systems for accounting, customer tracking, legal records, hiring, communication, and reporting make the business easier to manage. A startup doesn't need big company bureaucracy, but it does need enough order that growth doesn't break the business. So how do you apply this? Start by making sure the company's foundation is clean. Review your legal structure, ownership documents, founder agreements, intellectual property assignments, tax setup, and accounting records. If any of these are unclear, fix them before they become a problem during fundraising, hiring, or a sale. Next, clarify who owns what and why. Founder equity should reflect contribution, risk, role, and long-term commitment. Advisor and employee equity should be tied to real value and documented properly. Casual promises can create serious trouble later, so every ownership agreement should be written, understood, and stored where the company can find it. Then look at your team honestly. Ask whether the company has the skills it needs for the next stage. You may need product talent, sales talent, technical talent, finance help, legal support, or operational leadership. Don't hire just because you're busy. Hire for the roles that remove the biggest constraint on growth. After that, prepare for funding before you need it. Build a clear pitch, clean financials, a realistic use of funds, and a milestone-based plan. Investors want to know what the money will help you prove. The stronger your preparation, the less fundraising feels like begging, and the more it feels like a business conversation. Finally, create simple systems early. Track customers, cash, contracts, ownership, hiring, product progress, and key metrics in a way that another smart person could understand. The goal isn't to slow the company down, it's to keep the business from becoming dependent on memory, scattered files, and founder heroics. Now, here are 3 insights worth sharing. First, a startup isn't just an idea with momentum. It's a company that needs clean ownership, legal structure, financial discipline, and a team that can execute. Second, most startup mistakes aren't dramatic. They're small setup problems that become expensive when investors, employees, or customers start paying attention. Third, fundraising gets easier when the business is already organized enough to show investors what their money will help prove. Today's closing sponsor is MemoirGhostwriting.com. Many of the best business books start as ideas leaders have been refining for years. MemoirGhostwriting.com works with founders, executives, and industry experts to turn those ideas into polished business books that build authority, attract leads, and open doors. They handle everything from interviews to writing to editing to publishing. If there's a book in your head that should already be helping your business, learn more at MemoirGhostwriting.com. That's it for today. See you next time.